The fire within. Fulfilling the four needs in an integrated way is like combining elements in a chemistry. When we reach a critical mass of integration, we experience spontaneous combustion, an explosion of inner energy that ignites the fire within and gives vision, passion, and a spirit of adventure to life. The key to the fire within is our spiritual need to leave a legacy. It transforms other needs into capacities for contribution. Food, money, health, education, and law become resources to reach out and help fill the unmet needs of others. Think of the impact on the way we spend our time and the quality of our lives when we're able to effectively meet our needs and turn them into capacities for contribution. Abraham Maslow, one of the fathers of modern psychology, developed a needs hierarchy in which he identified self-actualization as the highest human experience. But in his last years, he revised his earlier theory and acknowledged that his peak experience was not self-actualization but self-transcendence or living for a purpose higher than self. In the words of George Bernard Shaw, this is the true joy in life, being used for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one, being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clot of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no brief candle to me. It's a sort of splendid torch which I've got to hold up for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. Roger, at one of our recent week-long principle-centered leadership programs, a man approached me and asked if he could share a concern. We located a spot on the veranda overlooking a beautiful lake and golf course and sat down to talk. As I looked at the man, I had difficulty trying to imagine the nature of the problem he wanted to discuss. He was impressive, in his 50s, was president of a multinational corporation with a nice family. He was an active participant in the program and seemed to grasp the material readily. I felt increasingly uncomfortable as this week has progressed, he admitted. It started with that exercise on Monday night. He proceeded to tell me something of his history. Had been raised in a small town in the Midwest where he was active in sports, a good student, a choir boy. He went on to college where he was also active in a number of clubs and programs. Then came his first big job, marriage, a child, traveling abroad, promotions, a new home, another child, promotion to vice president. As I listened, I kept waiting for the problem, some life-shattering disaster that must have brought his picture-book world crashing down around him. The problem, he finally said, is that my life is full of good things, a nice house, a nice car, a good job, a busy life. But when you ask us to think deeply about our lives, to come to grips with what matters most, it really brought me up short. For most of my life as a teenager, a college student, a young man, I was involved in some kind of cause. I wanted to make a real difference in the world, to contribute in a meaningful way. As I began to think about what really matters most to me, I suddenly realized that over these past years, that feeling, that sense of purpose has somehow gotten lost. I've been lulled by a sense of security. I haven't made a difference. I haven't taught my children to make a difference. I've basically been watching life go by through the heads of my country club. I watched with interest as his entire demeanor changed. But I've made a decision, he said. I've determined to re-establish connections with a charitable organization I used to work with. They do incredible work helping people in third world countries. I want to be a part of it. There was a light in his eyes, a sense of purpose in his words. He was energized. It was easy to see that the quality of his last few years before retirement and of his life afterward, as well as the quality of life for many other people in the world, would be powerfully impacted by the legacy he would leave. Or whatever else we may value, the reality is that each of these areas of human fulfillment is essential of quality of life. Can you think of any exception, any person who doesn't have these physical, social, mental, and spiritual needs and capacities? Can you think of any time management problem that isn't connected at the root to fulfilling one of these basic needs?